I'm Jamie Smith, and I'm the daughter of Richard Matt.
It's taken several years.
I feel like growing up with this such a secret, such a skeleton in the closet, you feel shame.
But Jamie Smith is now embracing her identity as the daughter of the man who was serving life in prison without parole for the brutal murder of his former boss, 76-year-old William Rickerson. That murder happened outside of Buffalo in 1997. Jamie was 9 years old at the time and didn't know anything about her father. She didn't even know his name. That was all about to change.
It was after the murder was committed that my mom had no choice but to tell me something. We had agents at the house and all this hoopla over that. I'll never forget that. I was 9 years old and she pulled me aside. She said, I got to tell you something about your father. This is what he did. And it was that deer in the headlights. And she goes, do you have any questions? And I said, nope. And it was not discussed again for a very long time.
Years passed by. Richard Matt had found himself in trouble with the law again. He fled to Mexico after the Rickerson murder and stabbed a man to death after a bar fight. In 2003, while Matt was serving time in Mexico, a letter came in the mail addressed to Jamie. It was from her dad.
And the letter itself, it was pleading with, please look past the things you know of me, give me a chance, and all the things that were meant to really like tug at your heartstrings. It just didn't. It didn't. I don't know if I already had that wall up. I was kind of pre-trained that we don't really entertain this. We don't discuss it. He did bad things. He's a bad person, I dismissed it.
But that letter sparked a curiosity in Jamie. So she and a friend headed to the local library where she Googled his name.
I'm seeing literature that was painting him as a monster, an actual monster. So that is how I learned. And that's what I knew of my father. And it was like, how terrifying for one, but how did I come from this person? How am I a product of somebody who did such horrendous things? It was a very big internal self-struggle for a very long time.
In 2011, another letter came in the mail. This time things were different. Richard Matt had been extradited to New York to be sentenced for the Rickerson murder and was serving time at Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora. Jamie was a young adult and felt an urge to get to know her father on a personal level. So she responded.
I came to like this person, which in my head was so opposite of what I was supposed to do. I wasn't supposed to engage with him. I wasn't supposed to come to like and love this person as my father. But I did. I have to make up for his wrongdoings. And it's taken, like I said, a really long time to separate myself from the fact that I didn't do these things. I'm a byproduct of this person, yes, but I didn't do any of these things. I'm not him.
From 2011 to 2015, the two wrote hundreds of letters. They're all right here in this binder. His meticulous penmanship articulates his life story as their bond strengthened. Matt had honed his skills as a master oil painter in prison and sent Jamie several pieces of art. He loved painting celebrities and animals. Eventually, Jamie agreed to take the 6-hour drive from Buffalo to Dannemora to meet her dad face-to-face for the first time.
So he came down and we just caught each other's glance, and it was like, holy smokes. We just, we hugged. We were able to hug. I didn't know if that was going to be an option. And we really just caught each other staring more than anything.
Jamie walked away from that first visit with a souvenir that she still wears to this day. Matt dropped this cross necklace in her pocket. It had been his birth mother's, and it was the only thing of value that he had to his name.
He doesn't have much, but the one thing he has, he wanted me to have. Because it was important to him enough to give to me as his daughter.
From there, the letters continued, and so did the visits, where a common theme started to emerge in his rhetoric.
He had joked that, when I get out, or if I can't even say joked, honestly, because to him it was real. To me, I took it as like joking. I'm looking around, I'm like, I know the security I had to go through to get here. You're not getting out of here. There's absolutely no way out of here. It was like standard prison fantasy of every guy that was probably in there. So I did not think remotely anything of him getting out. I'm like, if this was what gets you through every day, tell yourself whatever you have to. So yeah, when that became reality, it was just like, oh boy, he did it. Yeah. He's out. He's out.
Just 5 days before the escape, Richard Matt writes what will end up being his last letter to his daughter, Jamie.
I got this the 7th, June 7th, and he knew he was already going to be gone.
The 2-page note takes a dark turn at the end, foreshadowing what would be his new reality on the run.
I know you think I will grow old and die in here in time. I can't go for that, Jamie. I have to beat them odds somehow. Besides, I gave you my word that someday you would know me outside these prison walls. I will keep my word to you. I don't give my word lightly, but when I do, I keep it. Always know that I love you and little Leah with all my heart. That will never change, no matter where I am at. Love always, Dad.
Just 1 day before receiving this letter, Richard Matt and David Sweat escaped. Jamie was newly pregnant with her second child, and in the middle of doing hair and makeup at her best friend's wedding, she noticed her phone was ringing nonstop.
So I happened to click on it, and it was my mom. And that is the first thing she said. She goes, Jamie, he's out. I'm like, who? What are you talking? Rick, he's out. He escaped from prison. And she's got this like terrifying shriek in her voice. And I'm just like, what? Like, I'm sorry, what? But instantly in my mind, I'm like, I'm target number one. This is bad.
Jamie's gut feeling was right. For 3 weeks, she cooperated with SWAT teams and investigators while they provided her with 24/7 surveillance.
My dad knew that that's exactly what would have happened. I was target number one. So he had me very purposely have no knowledge of this, have nothing from him.
She turned all those letters and paintings over to police. As the search for her dad and Sweat continued, new details began to emerge about their escape, sending shockwaves around the world, including to Buffalo, where Jamie was on pins and needles waiting like everybody else.
Son of a gun. He did it. I didn't know that it was going to snowball and be this 3-week manhunt that made, national news, most wanted man in America. Like, wasn't expecting any of that, but it was like, how did you do this? And then finding out the details of the hole in the back of the cell and the pipe and this, it's like, guys, this is an actual movie. Like, how did this happen?
Jamie knew deep down there would only be one of two outcomes.
He's either going to disappear or he's going to die.
And on June 26, her worst fear became a reality when her dad was shot and killed by a Border Patrol agent.
It felt strange to honor my own father because he was the bad guy. He did bad things. He just cost the state of New York millions and millions of dollars and the overtime and all the stuff. So it was hard to grieve the bad guy.
Jamie received everything that was left in her dad's cell as his next of kin. His box of oil painting supplies, his classic white Nike sneakers.
There was one thing personal left behind. This was that. That was me and my daughter.
There were other photographs too, like this one taken of Matt and Sweat years before the escape. And then there's this, the cryptic note left behind the night he broke out, saying he couldn't grow old and die in here. It was placed right next to this "Time to Go" kid on one of his paintings. He left her with so much stuff, you could write a book. And that's exactly what she did.
The book to me was essentially a form of therapy. It was very therapeutic. It was really like, okay, Jamie, you have to address this. You had little to no grieving when this happened. You pretended the escape didn't even exist. I'm taking clients. I'm pregnant. I'm avoiding all emotion at all costs, just to stay level. So the book was really like, it's time to start the healing process.
The book, titled He's Out, the true story of infamous prison escapee Richard Matt as told by his daughter, came out in 2018. As she was writing it, she wanted more answers about the escape. So she headed to Bedford Hills Correctional Facility in southern New York to meet the woman who helped her dad and Sweat break out, Joyce Mitchell.
I was like, you know what, lady? Like, how did this get this far? Like I said, had you just done your job, had you spoken up, like, my father would still be alive. And she actually said that. I didn't, I just had those as thoughts. And she broke down in tears, and she came right out and said that. So she had felt that guilt herself. She said, if I just did the right thing, she goes, you would still have a dad. She truly, was remorseful for how far this whole scheme had gotten and her involvement in it. And like I said, I had a respect for that, and I appreciated that she said that to me and that she even gave me her time to speak with me.
One person she hasn't spoken with yet is David Sweat. She's written to him multiple times with no response. But as she reflects on this 10-year anniversary of the escape and of her dad's passing,
I have a little regret that I wasn't in more contact with him, knowing that those would have been kind of the last days. And yeah, I do. I miss him.
this mom of 3 wishes things would have gone differently, that she could have heard his side of the story. It's why she was so motivated to at least share their story with the world.
It's almost become a natural part of, my story. Unless you can live this story, I have to just own, what became of me and him in our relationship.
A relationship she's grateful to have had, all because she responded to a letter in the mail.